Okay, so I'm here to explain what happens when the moon goes into the 10th house in our birth chart. What is the moon? The moon represents our mind. The moon represents our emotions, in the way that we think, the way that we react to things. It also represents our mother. And what is the 10th house? The 10th house is a house that represents our father, the relationship we have with our dad. It represents status. It represents career. It represents the impact that we want to make on the world and the impact that we make on others. This house is ruled by Saturn and Capricorn. So, when you put the moon into this house, one of the things that we see is that you probably had a mother who probably was the authoritative one in your family, in your household. You probably had this woman, this mother with this strong personality, and who probably was more of the alpha than your own dad, if your father was even around in your life. It could also show that your mom probably, was maybe in like this position of power, and maybe not just the household, but maybe in whatever her profession was. She could have been in this executive position, a high position, like a manager, an assistant manager, a supervisor, or assistant supervisor, or whatever. She just gave off this air of a leader, because the 10th house is a house of career, and the moon could represent your mother. So it could show that your mother could have just been in some high position of power, just was in a position of power, just had the ability to make a strong impression and a strong impact on other people. And since the moon can also represent your mind and your emotions, the way that you think and the way that you feel, you could be, and since the 10th house represents, it's one of the things that you look at to see a type of career that you would sort of go after. We see that your mind is like that of a business person, or your mind is that of someone who wants to sort of do their own entrepreneurial type thing. You could probably have this strong mind, this strong independent mind, this mind of a boss that wants to make an impact and an impression on other people, and you would probably want to work for yourself possibly, or you would just desire to just be in a position of power at your own workplace. And we could see that since the moon is very motherly and nurturing, and the 10th house, like I said, career and status and impact you make on the world, impact you make on others, you yourself could possibly want to be in this position of power, or strive for some career or goal where you would make some impact on the world. Like, you would want to nurture and take care of the world from your position of power. So I don't know, I can't come up with no good example. Maybe you want to fucking open up some damn orphanage, for the orphans and stuff. Or maybe you would want to be the head of some charity and donation fundraiser thing, that could be your thing. Stuff like that. Or maybe you want to be like a leader or representative of maybe some ethnic group or whatever, like, I don't know, Black Lives Matter, and represent a particular race and stand up against the injustices that particular race encounters and deals with. You maybe want to be the head of that, and that would be your way of nurturing people and taking care of people on a large, massive scale and basis. And since the 10th house is a house that represents your father, potentially maybe your father, a father-like figure, maybe they was a bit of a motherly and nurturing type of individual. Maybe they was a softer individual. So it's basically the same. The father's probably softer and gentler and more motherly, and the mother was probably more of that masculine, assertive individual. And you are someone who just has the mind of someone who's like a boss or a leader, and you would probably strive and like to be in an executive boss position and maybe do your own thing, or just be in this position of power in your own workplace. Or maybe you would want to take care and be in a profession that is nurturing and giving back to people and helping people in some way, shape, or form. And that is all I got for you. And that's what happens when the moon goes into the 10th house in our birth chart. I hope this gave you good clarity, insight on what happens when the moon goes into the 10th house in your birth chart. And thank you for watching.